Hello, this is a very different type of video than I normally do. It's not going to be a pick a card, but this is going to be a message from the angels. I work with the archangels when I read from the angels, from spirit, from universe, for anyone who has a loved one who's incarcerated. Okay? I'm going to speak very briefly and very quickly about why I'm making this video, and then I'm going to get into it. I'll keep it brief, but I hope you will listen and not fast forward through. I did a video in my weekly forecasts a while back, and a message came through about someone that had a loved one in prison, and it made me cry. And I had so many people reach out to me about how much they needed to hear that and how moved they were by that. And it keeps coming up in my head. I personally don't have any one of my loved ones who are locked up, but I've had a lot of people come to me for readings with someone who they love very much, who's in jail or prison. And it's opened my eyes to certain injustices that are out there, and how some people sometimes just get really stuck and there's nowhere to go, and they end up in that situation. So spirit kept pushing me to make this video. You have to make this video, you have to make this video. And tonight they're like, you have to do it tonight. So tonight it's happening. I will hear messages, so you'll hear me say I'm hearing, or they're saying, or they're telling me. But I also work with the cards because I feel like it gives the viewers something to look at. But this is going to be messages for anyone who has someone they care about who are locked away, okay? For some of you, this is a lover or a partner. For some of you, this could be a family member. So it's not necessarily focused on just romance, but we'll see what messages come up, okay? And I'm getting the number 5 and the number 7. When 5 comes up in my readings, there's a lot of karma going on. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a karmic soulmate where like this is a bad person for you or that you shouldn't deal with this person. For some of you, maybe. But there's just some karma that's being cleared out. And 7 is intuition, listening to your intuition. But we'll see how that pans out in this reading. Okay, my dears? We have wisdom. Okay? So I feel like for a lot of you, what Spirit is wanting you to know about the situation is that I think a lot of you tried really, really hard to help this person not end up there. I think a lot of you saw this was coming. Like I told them this was going to happen. They didn't listen to me. I told them not to go over there that night. I told them not to talk to that person. I told them something sounded shady, or I told them. I feel like some of you really, really tried very hard to save this person from ending up in this situation. And some of you have been trying very hard to even help them get out. I feel for those of you who are in this situation, for many of you, this person has not given you the closure or the favor of basically just saying, look, you were right. I should have listened to you. And it's not because they don't realize that you were right. I think they're embarrassed. And I think they feel bad about the situation, and they feel bad about what it's put you through, especially since you tried so hard to keep this from happening. And I feel that for many of you, this person, I'm not going to say they're happy about being there, but they're feeling like I needed to be here because I needed to get away from the people I was around. And I think that a lot of you have somebody who's taking this time to do a lot of reading or do a lot of learning, to do a lot of soul searching. I feel for some of you, this person is, when they do come out, and for some of you, it might be years later. This person might be put away for a very long time. But when they come out, they're coming out like having woken up spiritually, okay? And I see them coming out and wanting to do good and wanting to help others and wanting to keep others from making maybe some of the mistakes that they made. But the whole lesson here is that at the end of the day, people make their own choices, okay? And you were wise, you were smart, but this person had to have the experience in this way to learn to have trusted, you, to learn to have trusted their own intuition, because I feel a lot of these, individuals who are in this situation are feeling like, I had a feeling that was going to happen too, but I didn't want to accept it, or I wanted to think positive. I feel for a lot of you, this person who's been put away was put away through betrayal. It could be that they kind of, I don't think they feel they're completely without fault. I do feel like they feel, okay, maybe I had a part in things, but it wasn't like that. It was like everybody just kind of scattered and threw me under the bus. And so this is a painful lesson, but it's a lesson that they are learning, and they appreciate you. They do appreciate you. But I think it's hard to mention that. I think it's hard to say that right now, because it doesn't take away from what has already happened. Okay? You have a difficult choice or a difficult decision to make now, because you have to decide how you're going to live your life while this person is away. And I think a lot of you have a very extreme sense of loyalty and a very extreme sense of care for this person. But I feel a lot of you are also going through a spiritual awakening, and you're going through periods of growth. And some of you are even trying to stop this growth, because you know in your gut, you know in your heart, you know in your soul that you're becoming a very different person. And you feel like, if I let myself become this different person, then when this person who's locked up gets out, we're not going to be compatible anymore, or we're not going to be as close, or it's not going to be the same. And they're going to think it's because I'm judging them, or they're going to think it's because, I think I'm too good for them all of a sudden. But that's not the case. Even if this person wasn't in this situation, even if they didn't get incarcerated, you would have still gone through these changes. You would have still become a different person. And even though you may still have had a lot of fondness and a lot of affection for this person, the relationship was going to change regardless. So this was going to happen regardless of if this person got incarcerated or not. But you have to make a choice to give yourself permission to have this awakening. You have to give yourself the permission to make this choice, to do the things that make you happy. There's no sense in two people being locked away. I feel for some of you, it's like you're the one doing time. And as much as I can understand, and Spirit understands, that this is your way of trying to be a loyal person, loyalty and love should never cause somebody to commit a spiritual suicide or a symbolic suicide. That's not love. You need to give yourself permission to live. Whatever that may be. If that means moving away, if that means pursuing a specific career where you know that you're not going to be able to be close with this person because there's going to be background checks and things like that, and they can't have you having affiliations with people who've been put away. If it's romantic, like moving on to a new relationship, you need to give yourself permission to live. Okay? And even though you understand that maybe there's certain aspects here where it's not fair that this happened to this person, because I've seen it in my readings. I've read for people or situations and my heart breaks, because some people, it's just like it's a terrible circumstance that led them to this very difficult situation. So, you know, even though you might feel like this person doesn't deserve to be there, and maybe they don't deserve to be there, but you don't deserve to lose out on your best years either. There's no sense in two people missing out on living their life. And your angels and guides are asking you to give yourself permission to live. Peace. You have to be at peace with yourself. You have to be at peace with your decision to live your life. You have to be at peace with the fact that things happen in the order of divine timing. This situation can and will be resolved in the way that it's meant to be resolved. There's no sense in you taking this burden on your shoulders and feeling like you have to be the hero. I feel some of you are very much struggling because you're feeling like there's something you're wanting to do from a legal standpoint to try to, maybe it's an appeal, maybe it's some kind of testing, maybe it's something you're trying to do, which is going to require finances, which you don't have, and you're beating yourself up for that. Or some of you are having a very hard time because you're feeling like you've been very busy trying to improve your life, and you're not visiting as much as you feel like you should, or you're not writing as much as you should, or whatever it might be. Again, the universe is asking you to have faith and to have trust that this person can and will be watched over by their guardian angels. And sometimes people end up in these situations and they come out a lot stronger, a lot more whole, a lot healthier, a lot more put together than they were before they went in. Okay? I can't speak for other religions because I haven't, I'm going to be honest with you. I have some understanding. I have friends from different religious backgrounds, but I haven't like deeply studied other religions. I have very basic knowledge of what some other religions teach. I can only speak from, you know, the Bible, because the Bible was drilled in me from the time I was very young. It was just constantly, from the time I was very young, it was Bible study, Bible study. But there are so many examples in the Bible of people who were seen as prisoners, or criminals, or like, you know, bad in some way. And they came out into society and they became very wonderful people who did a lot of good. Okay, and then there's the whole thing of, you know, like Jesus' apostles getting arrested for doing God's work, and that's a completely different thing. But there's people in the Bible that have been mentioned of, you know, like having a reform, like maybe even if they weren't in prison, people that like had committed murder, or they had done some really serious things, and they turned around and they lived a good life helping others, and you know walking with spirit and being in that connection and spreading love, and you know having blessings come in and like doing the right thing. So you have to leave this journey, you have to leave this person to have this journey and surrender whatever the outcome may be. This person may decide not to change. This person might say, okay, well, when I come out, I'm going to still hang around those people, or I'm going to still be doing what I was doing before, and whatever happens, happens. You have to respect that everyone has free will to make their own decision. And you can't rescue everybody, and you can't put everything on your shoulders, and you can't, you know, stop living your life. And you can't constantly be responsible for anybody else's sanity or wellness. You can only do so much. For the rest of the time, you've got to hand this over to God, universe, guardian angels. You know, ask their guardian angels to watch over them, to be with them. If it gets too overwhelming for you, just say a prayer and say, God, I'm handing this person over into your hands. Please watch over them. Please direct them. Please help them in whatever way. you know that they need. You know, you might not even know what to ask for this person, but, you know, God, universe knows. And don't let what's happening rob you from your peace. Okay? See this love? Send this person love. Love yourself. Maybe some of you, the person who's put away is the father of your child, or maybe some of you have the mother of your child who's put away. And this is just saying that even though you may feel this person's absence, you can create love in the home. You can have peace in the home. You can love one another. You can create peace moving forward. You can create this sense of we're in this together, and we're together, and we have our loyalty, and we have our family here, right? We have our family here as best we can, and we're going to move forward as best we can. You know, you deserve to have a happy family to the best of your ability, considering the circumstances. And you have to be at peace with allowing yourself to do this. Your children deserve that. Next, we have sanctuary. And sanctuary is actually a theme that's been coming up a lot in the weekly readings, and I think it's not just because of what I'm trying to say is there's very intense energies happening right now, and this is actually one of the reasons why I really wanted to make this video, or where I kept feeling pushed to make this video. There's a lot of economic injustice in the world. There are things that are not fair. There are very rich and powerful people who are keeping certain communities down. And there's uneasiness. We see it in the world, and we see it in other countries. Like, we look at France and their rioting. We look at, I think it was Venezuela and their rioting, Greece and their rioting, all because things are not fair economically. And a lot of people are getting to such a very low point. Here, we haven't had anything like that at the moment. And, you know, I pray that it doesn't get that far. But when I say here, I'm in the United States. One of the things that's on the rise, and I keep saying, is there's all these things on the news about these crazy fights and, like, McDonald's, like customers coming in and beating the crap out of the workers because they don't have straws, or you know, somebody's told that they're too old to play in, like, the playground, and they start, like, you know, attacking people in the restaurant, and all kinds of things. Like, we're just seeing people losing it. We're seeing people losing it. A lot of it is because the energy is right now, there's a lot of clearing, there's a lot of cleansing that's happening, so the negative energy on the earth is becoming very restless. But also because of the times that we're living in, people are under a lot of pressure. They're under a lot of stress. These are not easy times for many people, economically, politically. So on top of this, having somebody you really care about not being near you, you know, being so far away where you can't do anything for them, it can create just a sense of, like, an added void. Like, I'm so alone. I'm so alone in this. And I wish this person could be here with me. I wish we could face this together. I wish we could help each other. And you may feel very unsafe right now. You may feel very alone and very unsafe right now. But this card is asking you to create a sense of sanctuary in your home. And I'm going to explain to you why. I think a lot of you have already gone to the churches, to the temples, to the self-help groups, and maybe it helped for a while, but at a certain point it stopped. And at a certain point, people weren't getting what you were going through, or they weren't able to keep up and give you the energy that you deserve or that you need, or the time that you deserve and that you need. And so it didn't fill the void, right? There's still this feeling of people don't understand, or there's still this feeling of I am alone. Spirit is asking you to create a sense of sanctuary in your home. This means having a regular routine every single day, every single night, in which you're connecting with your higher power and with your angels, okay? It could be as simple as just traditional prayer, but I would say it's really great to set up some kind of little ceremony for yourself. And this is going to be, it could be lighting incense, it could be saging, it could be lighting a candle and meditating, it could be sitting with some crystals, it could be whatever it might be. One of the things I like to do when I'm going through a major transition, or I'm going through like a tough time or a tough period, once a week I'll take a spiritual bath. And it's not expensive to do that. You can just get some sea salt from the grocery store. And if you don't have a bathtub to take a bath, you can also do like a salt scrub, or you can buy like a soap that has incense or sea salt in it. I have a video where I do an instruction on how to make a spiritual bath with very cheap things that you can get at the dollar store even. And if you don't have a bathtub, I show how you can also use it as like a scrub that you just kind of rub on your body in the shower. So I will put a link to that video in the description for anybody that's wanting to do that, to have like a sense of like cleansing that you're doing for yourself, or a healing ritual that you're doing for yourself in the shower or in the bathtub, if that resonates with you. I'm very much into water. Water is very healing for me. So if you feel that way as well, that might be a good thing for you to do. But other ways in creating sanctuary in your home, guys, is going to be to like declutter. Get rid of anything that makes you think of sadness. Get rid of anything that makes you feel pain. Get rid of anything that is an eyesore. Anything that you just kind of look at that and you're like, that just makes me feel heavy, or that just makes me feel sad. Do some spring cleaning. Get stuff out of there. Do some spring cleaning. Get stuff out of there. It's going to make a big change. It's going to be a game changer for you. And then create things in your home that are giving you a sense of love. Maybe open up the curtains or open up the blinds and let some sunlight in during the day. Maybe play music that's uplifting for you. Okay? It doesn't have to be religious. Unless that moves you, then by all means you can listen to like gospel or Christian rock or some kind of religious music. But it doesn't have to be that way. It could be pop songs. It could be the radio. It could be your favorite modern, like, singer or band or group. Just anything that lifts your spirits. Look for ways of raising the vibration in your home. Do not underestimate the power of just having music on and just singing, just being by yourself singing. That is very healing. That is very releasing. You want to create the sense in your home that like, this is my sanctuary. This is where I heal. This is where I connect with God. This is where I come for peace. Make your home your church. Whatever that looks like. Whatever that looks like to you. It doesn't have to be in a traditional sense. But I hope that makes sense. Next, you have grace. Okay? This is, to me, this makes me feel like just being comfortable in you are, being in your nature, knowing that you're a child of God, knowing that unconditional love and abundance and, physical necessities are your God-given birthright, that you don't have to prove anything to anybody. And just to live in that grace, to live in that gracefulness, to live in that knowingness that you have purpose and that you have value. Okay, don't worry about what other people are thinking. Don't worry about what other people are, saying. Don't worry about, oh, well, people would judge me. It's none of anybody's business anyway. And those people that are going to make a big deal don't even matter. They don't matter. So this is just about you being in this, like, I am worthy of love. I am in going to be in the natural flow of the universe, the natural flow of manifesting. And I deserve it. And I am worthy. And to just get into this mindset. Let's pull a card for you from the Healing Oracle. And see, oh, there's a book here. See what message is coming for you from the Healing Oracle. Self-love. You need to love yourself. Think of all of the energy you have put into this other person, trying to help them, trying to save them, trying to rescue them. And some of you have felt such a loneliness, such a massive void, that since this person's been away, you may have looked desperately for anyone else to just come in and be in your life and love you and be there for you so that you don't feel alone. And you may have had more than one person who let you down, even though you did everything that you could do to be a good catch, to be like a, you know, to show that you're worthy of love, or like to do for this other person. Maybe you gave other people money, maybe you cooked for them, maybe you cleaned for them, maybe you gave them sex, maybe you went the extra mile in the bedroom. Whatever it might be, you may have done a lot of really special things for other people, just trying to show that, hey, I'm a good catch. And then maybe those people didn't reciprocate. And every time it was another loss, every time it was another abandonment. And this card is saying, think of just taking a moment and stopping that pattern and taking all of that energy and all of that love and begin giving it to yourself. Begin putting that energy into healing yourself, loving yourself. What do you need? How could you feel special? What could you do for yourself that would make you feel special? What could you do for yourself that would make you feel loved? What could you do for yourself that would make you feel appreciated? Because as soon as you begin taking that energy and giving it to yourself, you're going to teach other people how to treat you. I promise you this. All of a sudden you will find and you will see, when you're living a life where you're loving yourself and you're making yourself a priority, all of a sudden other people want to make you a priority. That's how the universe works. And that's why sometimes you see somebody and you think, what a horrible person. That person is so horrible. Why do they have such a lucky life? Why do they have a great job? Or why do they have this really great partner that they don't even deserve, who's like by their side and not walking away from them? Why? Why does this horrible person have such a better life than me? The simple answer is because they believe that they deserve it. And they treat themselves as number one. So other people come in and give them that same attention. Because how we treat ourselves treats others how to treat us. That doesn't mean that you have to become a selfish monster. That doesn't mean that you have to become like that horrible person. You know, you can still make yourself a priority while being humble. You can still make yourself a priority while being loving. You don't have to be a soulless creature to practice self-love and self-care, okay? But right now is time to really, really be good to you. Right now is time to really, really pamper yourself and nurture yourself. And to speak to yourself in your mind the way you would speak to your child or to your best friend if they were in pain or if they were suffering. Or to speak to yourself in your mind the way you wish that somebody else would have spoken to you. Maybe you didn't have loving parents. Maybe you didn't have loving friends. Maybe you still don't have loving friends. Maybe you don't have a best friend. Maybe you don't have kids. Maybe you do have kids, but they drive you crazy and you want to yell at them all the time. You know, that's okay. You're under stress. But maybe it's just time to speak to yourself in your mind the way you wish that somebody else would speak to you. And then that will create that energy in the universe. And that will bring those kinds of relationships to you over time. So I hope this was helpful, my friends. Again, I felt very guided to make this message. I will have a link in the description to the bath if you guys want to do that for yourselves. And again, you don't have to spend a lot of money doing it. It doesn't have to be anything expensive. I mean, anything I can put out for free that's going to help people, I will. And Spirit really, really kept pushing me to make this video. So thank you for watching.